In other world news, preliminary results from Afghanistan's presidential election show incumbent Ashraf Ghani has secured a slim majority. The result had been expected in October, but was only released by the Independent Election Commission on Sunday. Ghani secured just over 50% of the vote. The office of his main rival, Abdullah Abdullah, say they don't accept the results. The Electoral Commission says the final count could change. Well, for more on this, let's speak to Habib Wardak, who's a political analyst and founding member of Transparency Afghanistan. He joins us live from Kabul. Thank you for your time. Ashraf Ghani's opponent, Abdullah Abdullah, already challenging the result of this preliminary count. Do you expect the results to change after the final count?
Well, I don't expect the results to change much, but I expect a lot of volatility in terms of agreement of the final decision. Chief Executive Abdullah has already challenged the preliminary results, saying that you still have a lot of fraudulent votes that needs to be sorted out, which could bring President Ghani's 50.64% votes down. The case now goes to the Elections Complaints Commission, which will look at the complaints. But at the same time, I think we are looking at some sort of agreement between Abdullah and President Ghani. I think we are sort of going back to what happened in 2014. You've had elections which had very little turnout from the Afghan general public, and then you had massive amount of corruptions. There was the issue of electoral biometric votes. People got to vote who were not biometric. The devices of biometrics were flawed. And Abdullah is raising these issues now that you have to sort of remove the fraudulent votes from the overall votes, which might bring down President Ghani's votes. But overall, I think the Electoral Commission will also stick to 50.64%.
Right.
We might have a lot of grievances from Abdullah Abdullah and other candidates, and I don't know where this all leads to.
Right. Ghani had called on Afghan voters to turn out in large numbers and give a mandate to the new leadership to negotiate peace with the Taliban. But as we saw, the turnout was very low, the lowest turnout, in fact, of any Afghan election. This will not deliver a strong mandate for the winner, will it? And where will it leave these peace talks with the Taliban?
So elections is one issue, and then the peace process another issue. I think the results of this election will have tremendous impact on the peace process. From what we know, the Taliban and the United States of America are very close from signing a peace deal. President Ghani has been saying this over and over again from the past 4 years, that he has plan, he has strategy for a sustainable Afghan peace process. But on the other side, we look at it that he has yet to appoint his negotiations team. There's a lot of disagreement among President Ghani's team. You have a Vice President, Amrullah Saleh, who has a very hawkish view about Taliban and about this war. So the Afghans will sit back and try to make sense out of this whole situation, that Ghani's term 2.0, how will it help the Afghans for reaching a sustainable peace agreement with the Taliban. It's still a little bit early, but Ghani's team is mix of hawkish and dovish, and sometimes these hawkish views win and Ghani's team. So I don't know whether this war will sort of continue, or we might put an end to it. Because for most of the Afghans, it's not about elections, it's about stopping this madness, it's about stopping this bloodshed that needs to be stopped at whatever cost.
Habib Wardak, thank you so much for talking to us there from Kabul.